Hello, students. This is Mr. C, and I wanted to just give you a brief overview of Education 1010 in this video. So I have my notes in front of me, so I remember to cover the most important things, but of course we'll cover this in class. And so this is just so I answer some of your questions right away. First, the makeup of this class, this is Exploring Education and Society, and it is a general education course. And so some of you who are taking the course are interested in becoming teachers, and some of you aren't. Some of you are just doing it to fulfill your general education requirement, and we welcome all of you. But it means that we're going to have a diverse makeup in our course because it's going to be across a bunch of different majors in different content areas. If you are looking to become a teacher, you might be looking at elementary education, or you might be secondary, or even college level teaching. And so we are going to have a lot of different kinds of people in this class, which actually makes it a lot of fun. As far as what we cover in the course, we're really just exploring education and society. And so that covers things like the purposes of school, who the stakeholders in education are, what are some of the current issues in schooling in the United States, curriculum design, how are classes put together, what are the demographics, who is learning in education right now in public schools, and how are those demographics changing. We look at teaching strategies and pedagogy. You'll get practice actually teaching, and so I know that's kind of scary for some of you, but it's going to be really low stakes, easy teaching opportunities, which should be a lot of fun. And I think that's basically it for the course. It's a really fun course. I've been teaching it for, I guess this is my fourth term teaching it. And I really, really love this class. I especially requested to keep teaching this class because it's so much fun. I feel like I learn a lot from you guys, and I just really enjoy the discussions. Now, as far as the makeup of the course, I'm going to pull out my notes here, have them available for me. Here's my notes. Um, the basic outline for the course is every week you will have some readings and or videos that you watch in preparation for class. And I've specifically gone through, there is no textbook required in this class, so you didn't have to buy anything. And the readings change from year to year because we want to keep current. And so I actually spend a lot of my time here in the office looking up what's the new stuff and trying to find the things that are easy to digest. So most of our readings are relatively short, just 2 or 3 pages. A few are longer, but most of them are really short. A lot of them come from online from the web, and then I'll convert them to a PDF and put those in Canvas. So all the readings are already up in Canvas in the Files tab, as well as in the individual weekly modules. So you don't have to hunt around to find them. They're really easy to find, really easy to read. So course preparation isn't difficult, but you do need to put in the time. And in fact, there is a course preparation quiz that you take the day before class for every class period, which basically says, did you do the reading or watch the videos? And do it in its entirety, because you'll only get partial credit if you only read part of it. And what did you learn from it? And those quizzes specifically look at, how does this relate to your life? What experiences do you have in this area, etc. So it's not just going to be a regurgitation of what you've read, but it's going to be, this is why what I read matters. Okay, so it's not a summary, it's not notes, it's a reflection, it's a true reflection. So you do that before class, then we have class on Tuesday, Thursday, and I'll have already read over your course preparation reflections. So I'll have a sense of how you feel about the materials even before we get to class. That's called backwards design, where you do the work before class and I do the work before class. And did I call that backwards design? That's not backwards design. Backwards design is creating the assessments first and then doing things to meet up, which I also do. But this is the flipped classroom. That's what I meant to say. And in a flipped classroom, we do the preparation before class so that in class, we're just discussing and we get to share our perspectives. Because I'll have already read your experience, I'll have people that I can call on in class because I'll already have some sense of your experience with these concepts. And so class is really fun because it's just really heavily discussion based. I'll do a little bit of lecture in class, and I'll try to do some fun things to break it up. but that's what class looks like. Then in class, at the very end of class, or sometimes we'll run out of time and you'll have to do it right after class or on your own time, but due by the end of that day is a lecture reflection. So then you get to tell me what was useful about class, what were some of the things that you taught us during class, or some of the comments you made, what are the things, questions that you might still have, etc. So we'll typically do that at the end of class. It just takes a few minutes, and so that way we can reflect on class, and then again I get to read all of those to know how to improve the class from semester to semester. So I used all those reflections from last semester to inform how I do things this semester. So that's really, really helpful for me in the design of the curriculum. And I think it makes the class a lot more interesting because it means it changes from semester to semester. It's never going to be exactly the same. Now, those attendance quizzes that you take are roughly going to be 25% of your grade. The reflections that you do from class will be roughly 25% of your grade. And we'll start out with the reading this week. We'll just be reading over the syllabus. And I think I might give you a video to watch by next week. And then you'll actually have next week's readings in addition to this week. So this week, you're not going to read it in advance of class just because we can't do that. But you'll have the syllabus, a video, and a couple of readings for next week. Let's see. Oh, my attendance policy. So coming to class, obviously, if we're doing all the preparation so we can come to class and discuss, then that attendance is mandatory. And that's why we have that lecture reflection. I think I call it an attendance quiz. And the first question is, did you come to class today and were you prepared? And that's going to be a lot of those points. So if you're not regularly coming to class, and if you're not regularly prepared for class, you're not going to get a good grade in this class. If you do the preparation, you come to class and participate, you should do really, really well in this class. And so it's really easy for me to do the grading in this class because it's so obvious if you've put in the time and energy and if you're learning things. And so that makes it really great for you and for me. Now, in addition to those things, like you notice I only accounted for 50% of your grade. The other 50% is the practical application of what you're learning. So I have 7 major course assignments. Now, there's basically 16 weeks in the class, but 2 of those weeks are like vacation weeks with fall break and Thanksgiving break. So there's essentially 14 weeks, and there's 7 big assignments. So that if you can do the math on that, that means you have a big assignment every other week, roughly. Now, sometimes it's spaced where you have 3 or 4 weeks, and other times we'll do 1 per week, just because some of the assignments are more involved than others or need to come at a specific sequence. But like this first major course assignment is going to come up really quickly because it's getting to know one another, and you're going to introduce yourself to the class with a short teaching assignment. Don't worry, I'll give you more details on that in class, but it's a really fun one, but we do it right away so we can get to know each other. And so you'll knock out that first major course assignment here in the first week. The other major course assignments include like doing a teacher interview, actually a few interviews. You'll write a paper on on the purpose of education. The stakeholders one is actually an art type assignment where you do a visual, you make a poster or a graphic. So we're doing all sorts of different application here. A paper, a visual, an interview. You'll write a lesson plan, and then you'll teach that lesson at the end of the semester. So you get some practice in actually teaching. So all sorts of different kinds of assignments. It's really fun. So that's the logistics of the class. Let's see. A little bit about me. I had to take notes on myself too, just so I give you a little bit of information. I love teaching. This is my dream job. I've been teaching for 20 years. I've actually taught, I was going through the numbers. I've taught 5 years as an elementary school teacher with 5th grade, 2 years in a middle school, 1 year in a high school. And then about 12 years at the university level. Some of that was when I was doing my own schooling. So I've actually taught at 4 different universities. And I've just been here. This is just my 2nd year here at SUU. I've moved around a bit because of my schooling and just different circumstances in life. So I've lived in 5 states, Utah, Florida, Connecticut, Indiana, Wisconsin, and then back here to Utah. I've loved everywhere that I've lived, and I've been fortunate to be able to teach everywhere that I've lived. And so I have a good perspective, I think, on teaching across the United States because I've lived all over the US. I also have 4 children of my own, and they're in school. And so I have that perspective too as a parent. I have 2 high schoolers right now, 1 middle schooler and 1 elementary school student, and they're lovely. So you will hear about them throughout the semester. And then my wife is also involved in education. She's worked in different capacities in education. And so we talk about teaching and schooling all the time. In addition to that, I love life. I'm a runner. I'm a really big runner. That's called Clydesdale. But I enjoy running and listening to podcasts. I like creating music. So I play piano and guitar, and my children are musical. So that's fun that we do that together. I love watching movies, superhero movies. I like to binge on Netflix. I do product reviews, so I make some side income as a product reviewer. Actually, I don't know if I should call it side income because I think I make more doing that than I do as a teacher, but it's a really fun thing to do on the side. I also have spent time as a web designer, sports writer, and a lot of other things. So I have a lot of interests, and we'll get into some of that throughout the course, but mostly I just wanted to give you a flavor for who I am and what matters to me. Right now, what matters most to me is you, and that you have a good experience in this class. And I'm really excited to kick off this new semester. So I'll talk to you soon in class, and I can answer your questions then. Okay, bye.